Welcome to the channel. This video is about borderline personality disorder and friends. I asked the question, or maybe you guys are asking me, can you be friends with someone that has borderline personality disorder, known today as emotionally unstable personality disorder? Before I get into the video, I'm about to give the biggest disclaimer ever. I talk about all kinds of mental illness, from CPTSD to personality disorders to bipolar to obsessive compulsive disorder to addiction disorders, depression, anxiety, all kinds of mental illness. But for some reason, the only one that I talk about that I get people with this disorder to tell me I'm wrong, I'm bad, I'm a narcissist is borderline personality disorder, this one. I try to start every video with a disclaimer. I'm sure I haven't. I know there's some that I haven't. I don't attack people, and I don't attack mental illness. If I attack anything, it's abuse. Abuse is wrong, and I will not defend it or excuse it. If you're being abused, stop it however you have to. My personal opinion is once you're being abused, the relationship is already over. I try not to tell people what to do, okay? I give suggestions. This is a serious mental illness, very serious. One of the most. Some people say it's the worst one to have. You will understand it better with compassion. Everything I say about this disorder doesn't refer to everyone with the disorder. There's a very distinct criteria to diagnose someone with this disorder. And it's a number of traits, and they don't have to have all of them. So I'm not speaking about all people with the disorder. I'm talking about the disorder. Mental illness doesn't abuse people. People abuse people. Not just people with borderline personality disorder. I do not stand at telling someone that has never been diagnosed BPD in your life to leave them, cut them out of your life just because they were diagnosed. My knowledge. I don't try to claim I know everything, especially, or much. I have no problem saying I know nothing. What I translate in my videos is my personal experience, coaching clientele for many, many years, studying the disorder, clinical knowledge. I study and learn clinical knowledge. To tell me I'm wrong about everything about this is you might as well tell psychology they're all wrong. Maybe they are. Jordan Peterson, I think, knows this disorder better than anyone I've ever seen. Okay, much of what I say, he would probably agree with. But my personal experiences, my personal knowledge that I learn, and what I hear from my clients all match clinical knowledge. And I want to say that all of this that I'm about to say isn't exclusive to people with borderline personality disorder. It could be other personality disorders. It could be someone that doesn't even have one at all. Okay? But this is the pattern, pervasive pattern I have seen with people with this disorder. Over the years, not personally, but I've gotten to know the behaviors of a lot of people with this disorder. Maybe 100, maybe 200, maybe way more. I don't know. I can't remember how many I've helped over the many, many years I've been doing this. So, the title, can you be friends with someone with borderline? Of course. You can be friends with anybody. You can be friends with a psychopath. There's no rules saying you can't be friends with anybody on this planet. Here's what it may look like though, okay? Feelings, stress, and every other feeling associated with stress. So first, we know borderline personality disorder or emotionally unstable personality disorder is a disorder characterized by idealizing and devaluing people and relationships, the inability to emotionally regulate, and fear of abandonment. Those are the biggest. And try to realize that this all comes from childhood trauma. Neglect, which is something they've experienced, equals poor communication. Someone who can't communicate very well, you can definitely know they've been neglected in childhood. No emotional language, maybe not much language at all with adults, with their parents, the family. And they lack self-awareness. It's really hard to communicate with someone in a relationship. I mean, at work, you can, about work stuff, school about school stuff. But when it comes into personal relationships, you have to know yourself. You have to know how you feel. And they aren't very good at that. They have to know what they want and need. Not very good at that. Have to know what they value. All these things change. Okay? And this means poor communication. They lack, big time, lack self-reliance. Reliant on others emotionally. And this causes a huge problem in relationships. It's what causes stress, lack of autonomy in relationships. Due to their trauma, they'll be hypervigilant, but they also have cognitive dysfunctioning. Okay? All the information that they take in and process may not be very accurate. They may have a skewed perception of what's going on, a distorted view of you or opinion. They could be delusional. They could be not aware of how their actions affect others. They could lack empathy. Typically highly narcissistic. The biggest one I've noticed is entitlement, a sense of entitlement. The right to what they want. The right to what is yours. So, common experiences with PPD. A friend. So first, a good friend, a good friendship that you have, they'll cry with you when you're crying, and they'll celebrate with you during times of your life. Things to celebrate. That's called sympathy. They'll help your life be more meaningful with social and emotional support, emotional security, be there for you. You will live longer. Proven. Your life will have more purpose. And you'll be mentally and physically healthier. Amongst more things. Then there's a lot I'm leaving out. Please fill in the blanks. All of you. It's welcome. But someone with borderline personality disorder, a relationship with them, a friendship could feel draining. Draining mentally, emotionally, physically, and even financially. Financial exploitation is in 97% of abusive and exploitative relationships, and it always starts first. If you're starting a friendship where you have to pay for things, you're really setting the tone to ruin that relationship. Whether it's them doing it, asking, and you giving, you're ruining that relationship. You're saying we are not equal. You're setting the tone. So, I wrote down about 12 different things here, what it's like. So first of all, they will have an unstable life. They're unstable. And so we see instability in the three biggest areas of life. Their home. They may move a lot. Move out with a friend, didn't work out, move back home with their mom, go move out with a boyfriend, try and go get a place with their friend again, go surf on people's couches, go back to their mom's house, go to their dad's house. They may not be able to keep a job very well. They've got reasons, don't worry. There's really good reasons they have. But it's happening. Relationships stop and start suddenly. This is the core of all the problems in your friendship. Whether it's unstable home, they need a place to stay, they need help moving out, they need a cosigner, or whether it's a job, I don't have money, can you help me out with money? Can you get me a job? You get them a job, they screw it up. Or they're starting intimate relationships. Big one. I went back to my ex-boyfriend again, and he did this to me. I started dating someone again. He's amazing. He abused me. Went back to my ex-boyfriend again. Went online, found another boyfriend. Or they'll stop and start your friendship. You hurt me. You abused me. I don't want to be friends with you anymore. Or you just don't hear from them for long periods of time. This will be the core of problem for everything. Number 2, they're emotionally unstable. They cannot regulate their emotions. Whether it be joy and excitement through the roof, or anxiety, depression, fears. And it will affect you emotionally. Other people's emotions can affect you, right? You guys are empaths, remember? Someone that feels absolutely anxious and about to have a panic attack, if you're right next to them long enough, days, weeks, months, you'll start getting anxiety. Maybe panic attacks. They will emotionally dump. They can't make themselves feel better. They're reliant on others. And if you are someone they can rely on, they'll call you up and, oh my God, you won't believe what happened. This person did this to me and my parents said this. And then I went to my job and my boss was like all over my ass and I told them what I was going through and they didn't care. That's not good to have in our lives. I'm not telling you to leave them, dump them, ghost them, discard them. Just letting you know what it's like. Number 3. And by the way, to start at the beginning, every video I get someone with borderline telling me I'm spot on. Oh my God, help them understand. Thank you. And then I get someone with borderline saying I'm completely wrong. Completely wrong. It's amazing that I can pack a 15 minute video with so much information and then they tell me I'm completely wrong. But they've never told me how. They just say, I don't do any of those things. That's impossible. Okay? If you are diagnosed with borderline personality disorder and you don't do any of the things I say in my videos, because I got like 150, 200 videos about borderline, you don't do any of that. If that would be true, then go back to the person that diagnosed you and ask them why, because they're wrong. You don't do anything, any of the borderline traits, because I talk about all of them. I talk about all 9 diagnostic traits. You don't do not one, but you got diagnosed with borderline. Well, I guess they're wrong. Someone's wrong. I'm wrong, they're wrong, you're wrong. It'd have to be me. Well, why can't it be the doctor that diagnosed you? They wrong? I commonly hear that. I hear borderlines that say they're cured too, and they have like all 9 borderline traits. Still. All right, back to number 3. They're demanding. Demanding. You can tell them, please don't call me when I'm at work, and they'll call you at work. They'll text 5 people. Whoever answers, that's favorite person. Screw everybody else. And that's the up and down. You're so amazing. I always go to you for help, but you weren't available in 30 seconds. Someone else was. So screw you. I don't need you. And I could dump all the things on a voicemail or a text message and tell you all kinds of amazing things, and you go to try to help them, but they're already having someone help them. They won't even reply to you. Who cares? You don't drop everything for them immediately. You don't care about me. You don't love me. You aren't my friend. Number 4, loyalty. This is a big one. It's funny with disordered people. The biggest one is like sociopaths. Sociopaths, number 1, ask a sociopath, what's the most important? Loyalty. But they'll totally share your secrets with other people. Borderlines will do this. Borderlines. They eventually, you don't even have to say anything mean or bad or anything, but they'll feel bad. And they believe that their emotions are reality. And I'm here to tell you right now that your emotions, everyone, although real, you really feel angry, right? But it doesn't mean that what made you angry is bad, and that person that said it or did it is bad. When you're very hypersensitive, you can't regulate your emotions or process them, and your cognitive abilities are not functioning properly. It doesn't take much to piss a borderline off. It could take that much. Nothing that you did. You just didn't do something fast enough, good enough, react right away. You didn't quit your job for me. Why did you go to work today? That's bad. I should be first. Even friends. Seen it, heard it many times. They'll gossip. Secrets that you've told them that you thought they held in confidence, they'll go tell somebody else. They'll perceive what you've done as abuse, and they're the victim. Now, realize that borderlines, although we call them attention seekers, I call them blue light seekers, because they seek out, when we feel bad enough, right? If you feel like taking your life, what's the number one thing everyone says to do, right? To reach out to someone for help. Well, that's how they feel. And so they reach out to people for help. I get it. The problem is you may not have done anything, or you just won't do what they want you to do, and you're a bad, horrible person, and they've been victimized by you, and they need to reach out and tell someone. Or they'll just talk trash about you. Some, not all. Very common to turn on you in a second. You could be so amazing on that pedestal, and now you're evil, pure evil. Turn on you in a second. Or you're just not giving me what I want or need. They will. That's it. That's it. Worse than a pet. Number 5. Insincere. Insincerity. Insincere in many of the things that they say. And a lot of you guys are guilty of this too. Myself included, I have been. Sorry. There's something about that just makes me... Sorry. Sorry. Oh, yeah. Oh, I don't care what happened. Sorry. Yeah. Sorry. Sorry. I said sorry. Love you. At least say, here's an apology, just for you guys. So just here's a sincere apology. I'm very sorry I did that to you. I can see how that would hurt you, how it would affect you. You must feel awful. I can see that. I'm sorry that I did something to make you feel this way. I'll never, ever do it again. I promise. It's not that hard. It holds yourself accountable to say, I'll never do it again. An apology without change behavior is manipulation. I'm sorry I did that. I'm sorry I did that again. I'm sorry. Look, if you value integrity, then you have to have people in your life that you have to only have people in your life that also value integrity. So if someone gives you their word, like an apology, they'll stick to it. But once someone's apology is no good, what are you going to do? What are you going to do when someone abuses you and then says, oh, I'm sorry, and then just does it again? Sorry doesn't work anymore. You want to give someone a second chance, and I'll get to that at the end. Give someone a second chance, sure. Sure, I'm definitely down for second chances. Sure. But when they start doing something they've already apologized for, and they start doing it again, you got to tell them, hey, do you remember you apologized for that? Because if you do it again, your apology's no good anymore. And then we're screwed. Because that's all you can really do about something you do wrong is apologize, yeah? And I promise I won't do it again. Yeah? I'm sorry you feel that way. I've said that. How many of you guys have said that? I'm sorry that I made you feel that way. I'm sorry that I said that way, and now you feel this way. Sorry. Or I was just kidding. And man, they'll tell you the honest to God truth. It'll be like the only time they tell you the truth. You know? My ex called me, wants me back. What? You're talking to your ex again? I don't want nothing to do with you. I was just kidding. I have herpes. Just kidding. Anger, number 6. Uncontrollable anger. Angry for things that just aren't really appropriate to be angry about. Violins. I hope you know which word I'm trying to say. Yelling, screaming, shouting, breaking things. They love to break stuff. Your stuff. They may get mad at you and just walk outside and put a dent in your car. They may flip up your table and break it. Break your favorite vase. Something that means something to you. Temper tantrums. Temper tantrums, if they're not stopped by 7 or 8 years old, they continue to have them forever. Oh, God. That's a temper tantrum. Simple as that. That's just borderline. Love it. Oh, God, okay. Okay, stop telling me what I keep doing 100 times. God. I love that one. God. Temper tantrum. And threats. We take threats serious, guys. One I hear often is, I'm going to take my own life. If you go to work, I'm going to take my life. If you don't do this, I'm going to get married to someone else. They want to marry me. Just like that. We take threats very serious. And they are violins. Okay? I'm going to self-harm, self-sabotage, leave you, not talk to you ever again. These aren't allowed. These aren't permitted in relationships. I mean, is that fair to say? Abuse and violence, threats. Threatening I'm going to take my life is emotional blackmail. I'm going to go tell people this. That's blackmail. If you don't do this, that's blackmail. We call the police. Number 7, people with borderline or emotionally unstable personality disorder love, and I mean love, and all borderlines are welcome to tell me how I'm wrong about this, since no one can tell me what I'm wrong about. They just tell me I'm wrong, that you don't do this. Tell me you've never compared people in your life to anyone else. Tell me that. Tell me you've been diagnosed with borderline personality disorder and you don't compare anyone to anyone else. You compare boyfriends and girlfriends to exes. You compare friends to friends. You compare their business to other businesses, their car to other cars, how they dress to how other people dress, everything. Compare. My other friends don't do this. My ex never did that. My ex always did it like this. You don't. Yeah, when you're dating a borderline, you're not just dating a borderline. When you're friends with a borderline, you're not just friends with a borderline. You're friends with everybody else that's been in and out of their life. Number 8, how they feel and what they want is always more important. Always. Yeah, but you don't know how I feel. What about my feelings? Okay. A fair-weathered friend, right? I only contact you when I need you or I want to share something exciting about my life. Not when you're hurting or when you're down. If you need me, we'll be there. Number 9, they may try to change you. Cannot accept differences like opinions and beliefs. You like them? They're bad. They're evil. How could you like them? You can't talk to them. You can't be friends with them anymore now. They wronged me. That's it. If you're my friend, if you really cared, then you would stop. You wouldn't talk to them. I told you what they did to me. How can you be friends with them? I told you about that. I told you about where I worked. You can't go there anymore. I told you about that restaurant and how they served me and what they did. The whole restaurant's bad and needs to be burnt down. How could you go there after what I've told you? They'll try to change your opinion and beliefs. Major. You need to feel the way I feel about things. Number 10, you may feel lonely and isolated. Because eventually, don't forget, these are high conflict personality type people. Like maybe the biggest group, borderline, high conflict all the time. So they don't get along with people in their life. And guess what? They're not going to get along with people in your life. Your family, your friends, your coworkers, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your wife, your husband, your children. I don't like your children. I don't like how they talk to me. They don't like me. Literally. Well, what do you want me to do? Just give my children away to my wife? Just stop seeing them? Well, no, I'm not saying stop seeing them, but I mean, you can see them when you're not with me, at least. Well, I never know when that will be. When will I not be with you? When you're cheating on me, or when you're with someone else, or you're hanging out with one of my friends, or yeah. Number 11, self-blame, self-doubt is what you'll feel in areas of personal and work and health. May suffer. Your own job may suffer. Your own physical and mental health may suffer. You might start blaming yourself for things that happen. Well, gosh, yeah, I can see why they're not responding to me now. The last time we talked, they really need help, and I don't think I was very helpful enough. Because number 12 is projection. And they'll tell you you're a bad person, that was wrong, you're a narcissist, you're abusive, you abuse me. So all I said is I can't help you right now. I'll help you later. Well, why? What do you got to go do? God, I'm always there for you. You need help. You're sick. You're mentally ill. They'll literally tell you every single thing they're doing. That's wrong of you to yell at me. You're yelling. You accuse me. And you're calm. And they're yelling. And they'll yell at you that you're yelling. It's unbelievable. The rejection is thick. Thick. Areas of their life they can't manage or accept, they'll put onto you. And that's just about everything. It's your fault that I lost my job. I told you I needed a ride. Denies the immediate 24/7 taxi service. I have a life. Yeah, but I really needed this job. Your job's not a big deal. You could be late. So what do we do? What do we do? The biggest thing with borderlines, they always say, is boundaries. Boundaries. Give them a second chance. Give people second chances, for sure. I'm huge on that. But a second chance to fix the problem. Not a second chance just to give them a third chance and a fourth. Not a second chance to abuse you. Yeah. We work together to fix these things. Point out their behaviors and tell them how it feels. If they are passive, if they're malicious, if they're blaming you, if they're abusive, if they don't take accountability, if they're self-centered, if they don't reciprocate. Not telling you to leave them, but the relationship is over. To continue something like this, you have to compromise, neglect, and sacrifice who you are. Relationships, even friendships, take some compromise. We have to meet in the middle somewhere. I don't know how much sacrifice is really required, but not who we are. Okay? That's it. Let me know what you guys think, please. And people with this disorder, I love your feedback. I really do. If you're going to give me negative feedback, can you be more constructive than just calling me names and saying I'm all wrong and you don't do any of these things and I vilify you? If I've done these things, can you tell me how and where? Timestamp it. Give me an example, at least one. And you can do that with any of the other videos. Go back to some video and tell me what I did. Tell me what I said, okay? For those of you who are watching this video because you've suffered from people that have this disorder, I am very sorry. I'm very sorry. That's why I make these videos. We can't be abused. There's no reason to keep someone in your life that's abusing you. Except maybe your infant child, your small young child. Doesn't mean you should accept abuse. But we can't control our environment, guys. You can't control people. You can't control things. You can choose your environment. And once you realize that you do, you'll realize you can have other environments. You can choose other environments. You're not stuck. We're stuck with the problems that we have ourselves because we're stuck with ourselves. We just try to become better people, help the world become a better place. But we're never stuck with another person. Never. You're not stuck with someone that has mental illness, that abuses you. We don't discard people ever. We discard garbage. When we end a relationship, we try to arrive at that conclusion together. We never threaten that we're going to leave someone. But once we both realize that this relationship is over, then we can part our own ways. And we give people closure. If you're in a relationship where you know you can't do any of this stuff, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? You can tell me, and if you have borderline personality disorder, go ahead and tell me how to end it, or what to do, how to continue it. How about that? A challenge to people with this disorder. And if you haven't heard me say this and you say something else, then you didn't even watch the whole video. That's what I think's going on. I think people that give me the negative feedback simply start watching this video and they don't like how it feels. And so I'm a bad person. And that doesn't work. Okay? If you abuse people, then you're a bad person, right? Just by your logic. Okay? I don't think people are bad. I think people do bad things. I don't think people are evil. I think it lies in all of us, and we're all capable of evil things. Some people do really evil things. Yeah? And that's not what I'm doing today. I want people to live. I want people to live comfortably. I wish everyone that had this disorder would get the help they need, because everybody is capable of healing from trauma. Everyone, including everyone watching this video. And I highly recommend that you do. I posted a meme a few days ago that people that don't get help from people that have hurt them tend to bleed on the people that never cut them. And that is borderline. And many other people have CPTSD, things like this, that don't get help, that don't get treatment, and they emotionally dump on others and abuse others and hurt other people. There has to be accountability for adults. Has to be. And if somebody can't control themselves and stop themselves from abusing others, get help. And sometimes the biggest way for someone that finally gets help is loss or fear of loss. I don't think anyone should allow anyone in their life that abuses them. By leaving them and ending that relationship, it encourages them even more to stop it. But staying in someone's life that is abusing you is only encouraging them to do it. I don't know how more clear I can be about that, okay? If you feel like this, if you're in a relationship like this, get help. Step outside that relationship. Talk to somebody that you trust. Talk to somebody that knows what they're talking about. Especially talk to someone who can help you. Okay? The help is out there. Everyone needs to get help that needs it. And everybody needs help sometime in their life. All right? Let me know what you guys think, please. If you appreciate it, if you subscribe, vote, share this video with someone else, and comment down below. Ask me questions. I'll answer everyone's questions. Let me know what you think. Add your own experiences. I would love it. And anybody with this disorder, let me know what you think of what I said. Good or bad, I take it all. But if you're going to be bad, let's be constructive. I love constructive, negative feedback because I want to be better at what I'm doing. And I'm not perfect. Geez, far, far from it. And I'm not claiming I know all this stuff or that I'm right. Okay? Thanks, guys. Love yourself first. See you again later. Bye-bye.